What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time I'm gonna go over the weapon tier in AL with the full potential. So this will be the big project I was want to work on, and yeah, and also the update for the old one as well. And took a while, but we're here, and I will talk about all of it, and yeah, give a breakdown with each one of these weapons. And then yeah, this time I will be doing a little bit different compared to the last time, and I will explain that in a bit. So with that being said, let's go over it. So here's the thing that I want to talk about. This will be a full potential. It is different than just a weapon tier list. It's not just about I play the weapons. This is the differences between this one and the last one. The last one was when we're like, well, at least the game was not finished yet, and we're still not mastery and to get like, you know, the most amount of the potential out of the weapons. At that point we're still just using whatever, and like whatever sword skill doing damage, or but this time it's the full potential. That's the differences, what the maximum the weapon can do and what it's like. So that's the differences. I won't be just like, oh, this weapon's a C, that's it, because that's how I feel. It's not that simple. This one I will break it down to multiple categories. So it's not just a single one rank for the weapon at this point. It will be a lot of categories. So yeah, and I will be talking about the DPS for the rank, the speed of the weapon, and the boss killing for the weapon, and then overall grade. And that will cover the weapon itself. I mean, there's like few categories is good, because that way to rank the weapon is much better to see each potential than rather than just a one grade. And yeah, every weapon is very good. That's why I always say they are very good. Some people overlook that the main meta weapons and the go-to weapons like dual wield 2H, but when you actually able to use every single weapon and maximize the potential, they're extremely powerful, which is why I love to do all the different weapons, because you get to see the differences and the varieties and stuff. Yeah, it might not kill the bosses as fast as dual wield and 2H, but it can still be very, very powerful. And I'm sure some people would love to use other weapons than, dual wields and 2H, and they still want to see what the maximized potential built for it. And that's why I like to do all the weapons. That's why I don't really pick which one is my favorite or which whatever. I like all of them. I mean, it's just one is faster than the other and one is more fun than the other. But like, if you play this game as long as me, you probably will enjoy every weapon just like I do. But yeah, I mean, there's like a weapon like bow for etc. Yeah, not great, but it is still good. It's just not as fun because there's not many sword skills or many bonuses and etc. That's pretty much it. There can be plus minus. Overall, it's not horrible. So that's pretty much it for the like I said, the introduction, and I'm gonna get to it one by one. And this might be a lengthy video, so let's do this. Okay, starting off with a dual wield. Let's get the strongest out of the way first. And yeah, dual wield, I got the DPS and S+. So S+ is the max. I mean, you can plus as many pluses as you want at this point, but I think S+ is good enough, because that's pretty much the maximum rank usually. Speed, definitely S+. Boss killing is S+. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing really killing as fast as dual wield. Damage or DPS the dual wield, and boss killing the dual wield. Yeah, 2H. 2H is very, very similar. I mean, it's the same category pretty much, but 2H hits more. But dual wield it's faster, and in every situation you can use this thing. It's ridiculous. So dual wield being the best weapon in the entire game it's expected. I mean, it's Sword Art Online. Dual wield always gonna be OP. That's the whole point, and that's why this thing is gonna be an S plus overall. There's not much to say about dual wield besides it's extremely powerful, especially you can mastery the shines and you'll pretty much kill everything fast. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the dual wield. There isn't gonna be like too much explanation at this point. I'm just gonna save me some time. Up next, I got the 1H. 1H, I gave the DPS 8 because the DPS is definitely not in the S category, at least. I mean, because there's like it doesn't hit that hard. Let's be honest. Yeah, 1H is powerful, but being powerful and hitting hard is two different things. So if you use 1H a lot, it's not gonna be a big deal. However, the only reason I'm giving it like the below S is because we don't actually have a extremely powerful, 1H. Yeah, like the SP Nice Guy Blade is good, but whereas we don't have any good passives or anything on it that really amplify the damage mode. Imagine putting a Unrival, or imagine putting a Seething Fury on it. Yeah, one of the AI weapons like the like Ronier's, her Ancient Apostle weapon is literally the best one-handed sword. If we can get that, that would have been an S or an S plus at that rank. So it's really, we're just missing that the version for ourselves. The Nice Guy Blade isn't horrible, but it is not the best 1H either. So the damage is definitely 8 for me. Now, I mean, a lot of people can rank them differently. That's why it's like my weapon tier list with the full potential. That's why, I mean, there's gonna be people agree or they don't agree. So it's not gonna be a big deal that much. Whatever you want to place, it's up to you. So like I say, this is basically just for myself. And let's go over the speed. The speed is definitely A rank, because 1H is not that fast. Let's be real. If you actually play the 1H, it isn't that fast. Like, it's the Nova. Oh my god. Like the EX skill is like, it's very slow. Even with 100% speed, it's not that fast. So in this case, I will only take 100% speed. Everything is included because it's a full potential. So there's no point, like these weapons, you're pretty much gonna use high speed. So there's no point using no speed for these weapons. So, and this is the speed is definitely at A rank. It's not gonna be in the S rank. So boss killing is A. It can kill a lot of bosses, but not every bosses can be one down kill. I mean, it can be, but you have to be sometimes lucky, like Kirito. You have to be extremely, extremely lucky to kill one down. So, yeah, there's like, you can measure it by the one down kill standard for some of the boss killings, because that will tells you the full potential. Because if you don't do one down kill, you're not gonna see the maximum potential. So that's why, to showcase the weapons itself, how powerful they are, you got to bring out what they can do. So overall, 1H is A for me, and is very, very good. Like A rank weapon is not bad. Let me state that. So it's not like, oh, I give this weapon A rank, it's bad. It's not. It's just a ladder. But the thing is, the weapon itself can do more than that and is more powerful. But the ladder grade is just gonna be A for me. So that's pretty much it for the 1H. It is a very, very good sword in the game, and it's really fun to use as well. So other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for the 1H. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on, let's talk about bow. What do I have? DPS is definitely B for me, bow does not hit a lot. If the Sky Dancer can work on that, that might have been really good. But the thing is, you have to realize the bow has no damage multiplier. And the Sky Dancer skill, the aim and shoot, is not exactly workable. You have to be in the, like I talk about, close corners, and in order to make it work. I mean, you're gonna miss the target. That's the problem. So bow is not horrible in DPS. It's doing pretty good with whatever it has. Like, even though without ×2 damage multipliers and stuff, there's also not many sword skills that's really good either. So, and it's hard to get a good bow. You know, the SP power shot is all we got. If we can have Xenon's bow, maybe. Still, it's like they seems like to troll the bow users in this game for whatever reason. They just don't keep the one that's actually good, because like I said, the bow can be really good. Either A, we get those sword skills like boost, or B, we actually get some good bows. Well, we didn't get either of those, so it's kind of like we're stuck. This is all we got. You know, bow can kill pretty much, you know, all the bosses and stuff. But ideally, the end game, you're not gonna farm stuff with a bow. It's just too slow. And yeah, it kind of ruined the fun. They really need to buff this weapon in the next game. And other than that, yeah, let's move on to the next one. The speed. Speed is I've definitely put it in B rank. Why? Because bow isn't that fast. Bow is not fast at all. Like, even with 100% speed, because the hail plus the fixed P is like, it's okay. Boss killing, like I already talked about it, is B. You know, you can kill bosses, but it's not enjoyable. I mean, that's why I just do some of the video one-time deal. That's it. Like, I don't care. I really don't, because they nerfed this thing so much, and they're not giving any love to this weapon. Like, we can only get whatever out of it and then leave it good. Call it good. I mean, leave it as it is, because we can't really make it more powerful because the game ain't helping at that point. And overall, this weapon is a B rank for me. So B rank isn't bad. This weapon used to be C. Like, we had literally no good bows, and sword skill are like just pretty bad with before Sky Dancer and stuff. So yeah, that's why I say I gave a little bit higher this time. With the full potential. The bow, it hits the ceiling pretty fast, so because we don't have many choices. Yes, you can kill bosses, yes, you can do it, other stuff, just like the other weapon, but this is not an efficient ways to go. But if you're a bow user for fun, you can use it. It's actually pretty good. But the other problem I forget to mention is when you're doing a multi-target, where you have like, what if you have like 3 enemies, 4 enemies, 5 enemies? The AoE doesn't really work on all of them. The fixed Pier is a single target, kind of. Unless you can line them up and stuff, but it's hard. It's hard to hit like multiple targets with this weapon. So, okay. So the next one I got is the 2H. Yeah, let's get that big boy out of the way, because this is literally the best weapon in the entire game. Even the best type of weapons. Like, it's the cheat code 2H. So the 2H DPS, definitely S+. Dude, if there's a higher rank, I get even more, because this thing hits way more than dual wheel. But dual wheel is DPS. This one is damage. That's why it's a little bit confusing with DPS. It's because damage per second, because obviously the dual wheel will be much faster to kill stuff. Thanks to the Sky Dancer, this weapon is extremely OP. You can match the dual wheel easily, even pass it on some occasion. So speed is B. You know, 2H is slow. It's not that fast, but it's not really slow. That's not the slowest weapon in the game. So putting in a B rank, it's good enough. And especially with 100% speed. These are all 100% speed, so you're not gonna worry about these weapons are super slow, and it's powerful. And boss killing, maximum rank, S+. No doubt about it. This thing wrecks everything. Easily. Just like the dual wheel. Well, dual wheel is a little bit different. That you can wreck stuff easily if you want, like if you mastery the shine and stuff, but you can still kill stuff without mastery. So the dual wheel, you don't need to learn like timing like the shine. You can still kill things in a super efficient ways, fast. And overall, this weapon is an S+. It's S+ easily. It's, like I say, the best weapon in the entire game compared to dual wheel. They're practically both are up there, but if you want easier way to do it, the 2H is better than the dual wheel in many ways. Like, you can carry people with just this weapon. I got the plenty in the stream. I mean, you can just, bring one AI, kill everything. Like I say, cheat code. That's really good. And that's why I always recommend people, if you want easy way for the game, just get the 2H. Couple side dancer. Good to go. Complete the story to get this base sword, to do all the quests to get this sword. Farm a bunch shards plus plus 99, and then get this one. If you have 5% discount, you get the sword for free from the arena, so you don't need a memory badge. And at that point, it's over. If you want to beat the game really fast, efficient, level up everything, just get this weapon itself, kills everything. It's really that simple. And that's why I was like, because the Sky Dancer, even without the Sky Dancer, the 2H is still very powerful. With the Sky Dancer, it's just no match at all. This, to give you an idea, this thing hits like, full buff. I don't even need a full buff. This thing is already hitting like a truck. So yeah, it's definitely out damage dual wheel by twice easily. But like I say, the speed is what makes this thing, even with a dual wheel, because dual wheel is much faster. DPS, not damage only. So it's a dual wheel sometimes will get faster time, but 2H you can get there too. So yeah, this is the ultimate go-to weapon for a lot of people if they want to level up and stuff in this game and make it easy mode. And 2H is supreme in AL, no doubt about it. And let's move on to the next one. Moving on, I got the spear. Spear is definitely one of my favorite weapon in AL, easily, because it's multifunctional and stuff. You have high DPS, you can slow enemies and etc. It's really good. Now let's start with DPS. The DPS, I gave it a S rank. Now spear isn't gonna be, there's not many weapons. There's only dual wheel and 2H to get S+. I can just tell that right away, because there's not gonna be any weapon that's gonna be similar to, even close to dual wheel and two-handed in this game at all. So S is probably the next highest you can get for all the other weapons. And that being said, it's very powerful with the spear. Now speed is definitely S. Spear is really fast with 100% speed. It's insanely fast. Now boss killing is S. So this weapon overall is S, because spear is such a good weapon to use. It is so easy to use as well. You just have to, spear sometimes is too fast where you start missing the sword skill connection, and this weapon is extremely insane, so you kind of have to get used to the skill connections and stuff. Other than that, you'll be fine. And this thing can kill everything in the game pretty easily. I mean, like, insane. So this is always my always a fun weapon for me to use. The only problem is the the last weapon we get has no accuracy, like high accuracies. I mean, it has accuracy, but doesn't have like super high accuracy. So you kind of need to use the Zen Fighter for it. But it's not a big deal. I mean, pretty much all the weapons you can use Zen Fighter for at this point. And yeah, the Sky Dancer definitely make this weapon great again, because without that Aciza slash spear is gonna be like somewhere in the you know, A ranks. I mean, not gonna lie, because there's that one skill, it really makes this powerful. That's why Sky Dancer changed it a lot of full potential of all these weapons and make them really, really powerful. Like I said, without the Sky Dancer, this whole thing, this whole weapon tier will be different. Just like the beginning. The beginning one was according without, like, you know, Sky Dancer built in and stuff, so they're not like maximum potential. And without the Sky Dancer, like I said, a lot of weapon grade will drop for sure. Alright, moving on, I got the daggers. Ooh, this is a OP weapon, easily. You know, like back in the day, I was like, the dagger is OP. No, it's not. I was like, how can this be a super OP weapon? It's just a little knife, come on. It turns out it's actually extremely powerful. And here's what I have for the rings. DPS is an S. Speed, S. Boss killing, S+. This thing really destroys bosses insanely. Overall is an S weapon. Overall rank. So the damage for the dagger times 2 Sky Dancer, ridiculous. I mean, I don't even need to mention that anymore. I already talked about that in the Sky Dancer video, so yeah, save me some time. This weapon has really high DPS, plus the speed, so this thing kills in good time. So yeah, dagger is definitely fun to use. You know, I enjoy using this weapon back in the day. When this was like extreme, it was extreme raid and stuff. It used to be just this weapon, and yeah, it's amazing. It was just nothing but daggers back then. Because dagger has such a high accuracy, and yeah, that's why I used it mostly, and it's great for extreme raid, and it's still great, you know, currently, and it's awesome. Sky Dancer just amplified this thing even more, just like the 2H. The only reason this won't be an S+ weapon is because the DPS is not dishing it out as fast as 2H and do will. It is really hard, it's just one step lower. So like I said, the only 2 weapons that receive the maximum ranks are the do will and the 2H. Nothing else beats them. So even dagger is pretty close, but it's not gonna be enough. There's some of the bosses, there's some other weapons kill much faster than that, simply because the damage. It's also because what we have as for the final dagger we got, because vitality. I mean, come on. If that was strength, then that would be a different story. This might be that thing hits, like Silica's dagger hits almost twice as more than this weapon. So if we were to have 5-star dagger like the Silica one, this easily will be S+, easily. So we have to, I mean, I have to include what we have too, you know. It's like, it's not like, I mean, I guess you can use Silica's dagger and make it an S+, but overall it's not your main character's dagger, it's not your character's dagger, so you can't use it. You have to use AI for it, so I'm not gonna go that path. I'm only gonna focus on the weapons we can only use, than the weapons that we only have to make it the maximum potential. Otherwise, at this point, I might just include all the 5-star weapons from the other AIs. I mean, that would make this a little bit ridiculous. I mean, it's not even fair at that point. So what we have is what we got. So up next, I got Whip. Now Whip is a very, very powerful weapon in AL. It is super, super good. Now when I was thinking like, Whip, really? This thing is really good? But now in the end game, once you know like everything and maximize it, oh my goodness, This thing is a killing machine. It's no difference than Dagger. The DPS is definitely S. The speed is definitely S. This thing kills faster than Dagger sometimes. That's excluding Silica's Dagger. That's just the one Dagger that I got earlier to talk about. Boss killing, S. Easily. Overall is an S weapon. So, yeah, Whip is just like Dagger, but faster. So, yeah, even though the Whip is like it's the least amount of like people pay attention back in the day, but this thing really strong. That's why that's why I say you have to really play the weapon in order to unlock its full potential and understand. That's what I like about it. There's no fun just mastery dual wield and 2H. It'll be more fun to mastery every single weapon, bring out the potential, and that's what I like to do. Now Whip is definitely one of the best DPS weapon in this entire game, no doubt about it. Just like Dagger, easily. And like the only thing is like the DPS. Like I said, I don't even need to bring it up. There's nothing gonna be close to close to dual wield and 2H. But this thing, the most you can get is somewhere about the same, similar rank or higher than Dagger-ish. So slightly. And this thing is really fast, and especially the arena. Oh my goodness, this thing is fun. And other boss killings, and I don't even need to mention that this thing is just so OP. And overall, it's a great weapon. It has high accuracies and stuff. Its sword skill is just mostly, well, if you want to use the EX and stuff, but like, other than that, it's just like slap a Sky Dancer on the roaring beat, and use turnover or whatever for a secondary DPS. Whip is pretty simple actually. You don't really need a lot of setups for it, but if you want to use it for early game, it can be really fun. But you kind of need some of the accessory and stuff to really make it OP and stuff, because it's not gonna throw out DPS like the other weapons and stuff quick. Some weapons you kind of have to wait till end game and stuff to really build around it. Some weapon you can use from early to the end, no big deal. And so Whip overall, it is a great DPS weapon. Moving on, I got the Rapier. Now the Rapier is really fun to use. It is a jack of all trades in this game. A lot of people love to use Rapier. I love to use Rapier too. It is really good because you have decent, you can do DPS, slow, have high accuracy, all that stuff. Extremely powerful. Now DPS is definitely A. Speed is definitely A. Boss killing is definitely A. Overall, it's an A weapon. Now Rapier, some people might put it in the S category. Now let me talk about that first. Now the DPS compared to Dagger and Whip, both of them are actually higher. Believe it or not, like Whip kills faster too, Dagger kills faster too and hits more. So the Rapier DPS is pretty good. It's literally in that high tier. So it's not like low. You don't have to worry about it. This thing can kill enemies. Speed is pretty good, except the flash penetrating. It's like, it's okay. I mean, the animation takes too long. That's the only downfall about it. And the Sky Dancer doesn't work properly for the Star Splash because you miss the target for the first few hits and stuff, and so it's kind of like, it's okay. So the DPS wise, it's okay. It's still A rank. Like speed is definitely, like I talk about, it's not so fast. The Rapier isn't fast at all. Not to mention the downing too. It's hard to down Rapier with like short enemies, like smaller. Even Kirito, you have to learn the timing to down the enemy. You cannot just press and it will down. You actually have to wait after the press. If you don't believe it, you can try it yourself. And everybody knows how this weapon works. They're gonna tell you how painful it is to down the enemy with this weapon. that's like has like smaller hitboxes and shorter. Yeah. And then boss killing, this thing can kill everything, so it's not like too bad. It can kill. It's like it's workable if you want to use this weapon to farm stuff. So yeah, and overall it's an 8 weapon. It's not too bad. Okay, moving on to Katana. Ooh, this is a good topic. Fan favor. Now Katana is definitely amazing. I mean, most people love Katana. I like Katana. I mean, it's great. This is not HR, even though HR's Katana is the best, easily. But this is a different story. And Katana itself is really, really fun to use. Let's go over it. The DPS is definitely A. Katana does not short of DPS. I mean, this thing is very, very powerful. Well, it's not gonna hit as hard as like, I mean, it hits hard, but it's not gonna be as like, you know, fast. So DPS, like the daggers or whip, so a little bit lower. Speed is definitely C. This thing is the slowest, without a question, compared to the like Mace and 2H. It's slower. Like holy moly! I mean, it's just, I don't know why they make this weapon so slow in this game. With like HR is so fast. That's the only thing you're really missing, is just the speed. Other than that, it's pretty powerful. Now boss killing, this is definitely an A. The Katana is not an S rank when it comes to boss killing, because yeah, you can kill them, but it takes time and it's slow. So overall, it's like, it's okay. It's like, it's not like the best of the best out there, and it's not like the worst, and it's stuck in between. So overall, this weapon is an A. Katana is really just missing that, you know, speed and stuff. There's just so many animations. It slows down this weapon a lot. And don't get me wrong though, the animations are cool, but when it comes to combat, it's horrible. I mean, you have to watch them go through it, and it's like, that's what wastes a lot of time. That's the only reason why Katana is kind of like not as insane. You know, if it were at higher speed, oh my goodness, this thing will be insane. So other than that, that's pretty much it for the Katana. And moving on, I got the Shield Axe. Now the Shield Axe is the latest addition we got from like the last few patches. It was very late in the game, so there isn't like a whole lot of like, you know, time to try it out. But besides, once you get to very late in the game and stuff, so the Shield Axe is actually a pretty powerful weapon. It is not weak. So the DPS is definitely the 8 rank. The speed is B. The speed isn't that fast. Shield Axe is kind of a little bit slower. It is not like really fast weapon to use. So boss killing is definitely A for sure. I mean, this thing can destroy a lot of bosses, no problem. And overall, this is an A weapon. Yeah, the full potential for the Shield Axe is somewhere there too. I mean, in order for this to go to S, the speed must be up, and the DPS needs to be higher too. It's just a lot of time, it's just the speed itself really ruins the weapon itself. So that's kind of the problem in AL, just like the Katana. That's the only thing you really miss, just the speed. Shield Axe is great overall. But there's not many variations and stuff you can get. Like, yeah, you can get one from Extreme and then Ancient Apostle somewhere later, and then like the earliest is probably Extreme or the Legendary Blacksmith. Kind of sucks. There's not many places you can go farm this thing and kind of use it. So either you just get it from the mid game or the late game, or just one or two of those. It's not like a lot. Well, which is similar to some other weapons. You can only get it from, you know, like certain like time and stuff, like in the mid or late, just one or two different variations, not many different ones. That's what happened when they had a weapon in so late, and we just don't really have a lot. Last but not least, I got the Mace. Now Mace, it's awesome. Mace is a very good weapon to use. Even though the only thing I didn't really like about Mace is like the sword skills that actually give you buff. I do like the last one, the variable blow that gives you 50% attack. But the problem is like they haven't. The other stuff are just unnecessary. So whenever you use Mace, you gotta watch out for the buff limits. This is really easy to get you over buff, especially you run in with like close to 20 buffs. And whenever you use Mace, always save 4 extra slots open, so 16. If you want to use a maximum buff, 16 is for Mace because 4 sword skills, 4 buffs. It's kind of annoying they did that, but can't do much about it. I mean, it's gonna give you buff regardless. So DPS S. Mace hits really hard. So speed is B. Mace is kind of slow. I mean, it's Mace. Let's be real. I mean, it's slow. So can't say much about it. It's not that fast. Boss killing is S. So overall, this weapon is an S. This weapon is really good. I mean, at first I was like, there's no way the Mace is gonna be really powerful. I mean, come on, it's a Mace. It's mostly just for tanks or whatever for DPS. Well, Skydancer changed that. So, like I say, Skydancer really saved these weapons a lot. Like, without it, this will be a completely different ring. And the boss killing for this weapon, it's insane. It literally mowed down everything easily. Like, yeah, that's what Skydancers do, and it makes weapons more powerful. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like this weapon will be extremely powerful if we do get the speed buff. Other than that, yeah, it's missing that speed again. That's what separates some of the weapons. It's just the speed. Nonetheless, Mace is still very fun to use. Alright people, that should cover it. The updated weapon tier in AL. So yeah, that's the full potential for all these weapons, and that's why I want to make a different version. This, in my opinion, is way better than the original one that I made, because one, it's the end game and everything is all said and done. Nothing's gonna change more and stuff. So that's the only time you can actually, make a full guy, is when the game is said and done, and when you discover everything it has and the full potential and stuff. And then also, like all the other categories, it makes the weapon, a lot more fair. Because to break it down with the DPS and other stuff like speed, etc., you get to see what the weapons can do in the multiple categories, and rather than just one letter rank. Imagine if I just saying like I said earlier, a Katana or a Rapier, I'll give it like a random rank. There isn't much to see about it, honestly. I mean, yeah, you get the general ideas, then what? I mean, it's better to know some of the attributes, what the weapons really stands out. Some weapons has really interesting attributes, like it has high damage but lower speed, which is cool. So that way it's much more clear than what it used to be, and compared to like the original one that I made. And also, this is a better version and update at this point. Hopefully I can do this again in the next game. I will try to do one in the middle, and I will try to do one in the end, so it makes easier that way. Other than that, all the weapons in this game, it's really powerful, really good, especially when you maximize its full potential. It's not like they don't suck at all. No, this is pretty well balanced to me. I mean, if you just look at dual wields and two-handed, they're not balanced. They're way above. So like the other weapons are catching up with a Skydancer, which is a good boost, which they should make it a little bit more reasonable compared to like dual wield and 2H. I mean, it's like they're way beyond. And it's kind of like hard to catch up, you know? That's why I said, people who use dual wield and 2H all the time, they're not gonna see what the other weapons have true potential. Some people, they could just use dual wield and 2H and not care about other weapons because it's just the main weapons and damage and stuff. And yeah, that doesn't mean other weapons that are not that good, and doesn't mean they don't have no full potential, doesn't mean they can't kill bosses, etc. and blah blah blah. That's why I make other weapons builds and stuff, so they can all be good. That's the whole point. And all the weapons can stand out by themselves, so they will not be in the shadow of dual wield and 2H. That's why it's important to do so. Then instead of like, oh my god, dual wield is the only thing you're gonna need, and dual wield is the only thing you're gonna use, nothing else matters. Some people, like I say, if that's you, I mean, you want to stick with it, that's fine. But some people like to use different weapons variations for the fun of it, for the experiments. For me, I mean, sometimes I get tired of using the same like DPS weapons. I want to switch up, you know? Yeah, I might not kill as fast, I might not hit as hard with the damage and stuff, but I have fun. Like I say, you know, so it's all about having fun, really. But sometimes when it comes to farming and efficiencies and stuff, I would still recommend to use whatever you want to use. Yes, you can use like whatever hits the hardest. It will definitely save you a lot of time and stuff. But also keep in mind that what you want to use is what the most important part, you know. Some people, they don't really touch dual wields. They don't really touch two-handed sword. They just stick with whatever weapon they have. I can understand that, because like that's why I just mentioned the part where like every weapon's is different. Some people like to use it, some people don't. So, but it does not mean that weapon is not good. They're all great. I mean, like I say, I don't need to talk about how great they are. I mean, just watch the gameplay, you will see. And that's the whole point. And yeah, that's why I make this weapon tier list and upgraded version of it, so you can see even better with the ranks and stuff in the multiple categories. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and it's long. It is long. Like I said, it's like I can't expect to be a short video when you have all the weapons in one video. I mean, there's nothing's gonna be short, especially when you have to explain them. So that's pretty much it for this explanation video. The next one I'm gonna do is probably just a series for the you know, the weapons, like everything you need to know and stuff, how to more like mastery them, and you know, to learn the end game mechanics and stuff, like about the full potential of the weapons. And yeah, it's like a full potential, but it's not like the it's not like, you can kind of say it's like, you know, things to know, but an upgraded version. It's just like more depth because of the Sky Dancer. That's what changes. And yeah, I'll talk about some builds and etc. for every single weapons, and then finish that, and then just do a cube opening. And then by the time Last Recollection comes out, I'm excited for it. And then that's perfect time to wrap up this game for me, for the explanation videos. I mean, I could do some gameplay and stuff, not a big deal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to do. I mean, if I find something fun, I'm interested to try it, I'll do it and upload it. Other than that, it's just for explanation videos wise, pretty much it is to cover everything that needs to be covered, that I wanted to cover. And yeah, just getting ready for the next game and etc. And that's pretty much it for AL, and talk about the queue opening in 3 years of this game, and call it good. And that should be it. You know, nothing lasts forever. Like I said, it's just a matter of time to reach there. you can still, we can still have fun playing it, but it doesn't necessarily like mean I have to make explanation for it. I mean, I can do some stuff that I feel like people wants to get, wants to get something like more, further explanation and to cover it, some topics, etc. I don't mind. Maybe I'll do a poll and see what is people want to list, to see. And other than that, I mean, that everything that I wanted to do, I pretty much will be finished by then. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.